This might have just been one of the most stacked trio cash cups we have ever seen. On NA, we had so many big name teams be able to qualify for finals, and in EU, we also saw some of the most dominant teams towards the top of the leaderboard. We have a bunch to go over in today's video. Real quick before it starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we are trying to hit 85k by the end of November. Use code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. Without further ado though, let's get straight into today's video. All right, so like I always do for the double cash cup days, I'm going to quickly go over opens, everybody that qualified for finals, and then I'm going to go more in depth when I review the actual finals. All right, let's start off with the winners of NA of Acorn, Peterbot, and Khanada, getting 592 points in 7 games while being able to win 4 of them. So they almost won opens by over 100 points. But that wasn't even the craziest thing. If you look at their match history, they had an average placement of 1.5 and 25.1 average elims. This match history is so insane. We just have to check it out real quick. They got a 43 elimination win, a 22 elimination win, 17 elimination third, 26 elimination second, and then 17 elimination win, 26 elimination win, and a 25 elimination second in their very last game. In open so far, they look like by far the most dominant trio in arguably the entire world. And for a lot of people, including myself, saying this team wasn't even going to last past a single cash cup, this opens placement might have just proved a lot of people wrong. Second place is the underrated trio of Batman Booga, Mason, and Yamzo on 484 points. Third place is Ark, Lawrence, and Eggy. Fourth place is another brand new trio of Miro, Booga, and Threats on 456. Fifth is Scare, Quancy, and TK. Sixth is Nerface. Seventh is DeQuinted. Eighth is Bucky, Okus, and Craze. Ninth is Rapid, Pollo, and Boltz. And then rounding out the top 10 was I literally had no clue how to say their names. Like I said in the intro though, we had a lot of other big name teams like Re-Epical and Sphinx in 16th, Cold Ritual and Agers in 18th, and then just barely being able to qualify is Clix, Cooper, and Rise in 31st place. I'm not 100% sure if this is like a new confirmed trio or if Cooper is just filling, because I heard some things that Cooper was just filling for Aviv, but Aviv was literally playing the cash cup still, so I don't 100% know what is going on with Clix's trio, but he was able to qualify for the finals. And let's actually move on to how the NA finals went now. All right, now the finals was a hectic tournament all around. We saw so many different things happen, from Peterbot's trio literally landing on cold in the very final game to try to grief them out of first place, to Clix dying to cheaters in the very last game, which prevented him from finishing in the top 3. We have a bunch to talk about though, and let's start off with probably by far the best team on NA right now, winning back-to-back trio cash cup finals of Agers, Ritual, and Cold, getting 337 points in 6 games and winning 1 of them. Let's go over their actual match history, and then I'll show you guys the fight that happened in game 6 when Peterbot, Acorn, and Khanada landed on them. They got a 4 elimination 6, a 5 elimination 10th, 9 elimination second, 18 elimination win, 13 elimination second, and a 3 elimination 28th in their very final game. All right, let me show you guys the absolute madness that happened in the very final game though, and the final fight that happened.
They just know they're doing what I said. They don't have to win, they just have to not lose.
Trying to run at you, running at you.
Oh, Peterbot's getting doubled. He goes down. It's up to Khanada. He wasn't there. He wasn't supporting Pete. It's over, man. No.
They get a pad, bro. And they're gonna keep by a different team too.
So maybe the fight was a little anticlimactic, but Cold, Agers, and Ritual ended up getting wiped just after that, but they were literally in the lead by over 100 points going into the very final game. So if you're wondering why Peterbot did that, that is why their trio decided to land there, because they were second going into that game, but they did kind of know they had no chance of winning unless they were able to take out Cold. So I mean, I respect the effort, to be honest. Clearly didn't go their way though. Cold, Agers, and Ritual's placements now this season are first, and second. I don't think you can really call any other team better than them on NA right now. Second place is the trio that a lot of people are calling the second best team on NA of Rapid, Pollo, and Boltz. They are finally back together. This is their first set lobby together. They finished with 298 points while being able to win 2 out of these 6 games. They had an average placement of 9.1 and an average elims of 6.6. They got an 8 elimination 4th, an 8 elimination win, 1 elimination 27th when they died to cheaters, 4 elimination 4th, 5 elimination 18th, and then a 14 elimination win in their very final game to secure the second place. Third place was another brand new trio of Acorn, Peterbot, and Khanada, finishing on 245 points. They had an average placement of 11.1 and an average elims of 4.8. Their match history was a 4 elimination 9th, an 11 elimination win, 1 elimination 19th, 8 elimination win, and then a 0 elimination 29th in the game that they did die to Cold. A lot of people are already asking on, is Peterbot just going to drop this trio now because they placed 3rd, and that's what he did with Boltz last time? And I just have to say, I don't think so. They literally have to still play the Cash Cup finals again on Monday. So even if Peterbot wanted to drop them right now, I think the vibes would be a little weird for finals on Monday. And I think think the only like real option that is really better for him than the trio he was currently on is obviously like the Cold, Agers, and Ritual trio, but I just don't see any reason why Cold, Ritual, and Agers would want to split up at this point. So I think this team will end up sticking. Fourth place was another brand new trio of Re, Epical, and Sphinx. Fifth was Bunch. Sixth place was actually Clix, Cooper, and Rise on 218. Now, I mean, you might honestly be able to say that this is kind of a surprising top 6 finish from this team, but this team really did have the chance to finish inside that top 2. They had an average placement of 10 and only an average elims of 3.3, but still, they're just a super consistent team that is able to make endgame a lot. I think this has to kind of mean that Aviv is officially dropped from this trio now for Cooper, because they definitely could have finished inside the top 3 in the very final game. They ended up taking a mid-game fight and just completely died to cheaters though, so a little bit unfortunate for them at the end, but they did show flashes of the potential to be maybe a top 5 team on NA. 7th place was Vert, Braid, and Chance. 8th was Sandman. 9th was Batman, Booga, Mason, and Yamzo, and then rounding out the top 10 was Bucky, Okus, and Craze. We do have a lot of other big names though, like Miro, Booga, and Threats in 11th. A little disappointing day for them, to be honest. They were completely uncontested like all day, I'm pretty sure, at the dog pound, so in 11th place is definitely not what this trio wants. And then we also did see Noah W Plays, Chaos, and DC Awesomer finish in 17th. All right, now before we move on to EU, let's look at the final kin stats for the winners. For Ritual, starting off with, he had 12 elims, 4,367 damage, and a 1.5 damage ratio. I'm not gonna lie, the stats for this team might not be as high as we've seen some other teams in previous weeks, simply because in the very final game they did end up dying off spawn. Moving on to Agers now, he had 18 elims, 4,747 damage, and a 2.2 damage ratio. Like I've said many times before, anything over a 2.0 is very good. And finally, going over to Cold, he had an absolutely insane day today, getting 22 elims, 8,420 damage, and a 3.6 damage ratio. Cold is continuing to prove why he is probably a top 2, maybe even a top 1 fragger in the world. When you see Cold grinding, he is a very scary player, and he has been grinding so hard since Trios has got announced. Let's move on to EU now though. Now, EU saw some really big name teams get super close to qualifying, but this week also did have a lot of big name teams being able to make finals. Let's start off with the winner of opens for EU of Riven, getting 432 points in 7 games and being able to win 4 of them. Second place was Zara. Third was Fant. Fourth was the brand new trio of Yanis, Noah Riley, and Rezon, getting 416 points and winning 3 out of their 9 games. Fifth was Wheat. Sixth was Josh. Seventh was Voyi. Eighth was Hyper. Ninth was Yarko, and then rounding out the top 10 was Philippic. We did see some other really big name teams though, like Vico, Veno, Flixie, finishing in 12th place, getting 401 points in 10 games. A trio that I know a lot of you guys were wondering where they were last week of Chap, Chicho, and Teeny finished right under them in 13th. Hen, Marco, and Faki in 17th. Cringe Moneymaker in 18th. Ping Walks to Malibuca in 22nd. And then there was some really big name teams just outside the qualification spot, like Seti, Hari, and Cammy, finishing in 35th place. So literally just 2 spots outside of the top 33. This was the most consistent finals team going into this tournament, so them missing finals now is a really big deal. And I know another team a lot of you guys are going to be wondering where they're at is Mongrel, Mr. Savage, and Twy, finishing on 384 points in 10 games and being able to win 2 of them. They had an average placement of 13.8 and an average elims of 13.4. If we quickly go over their match history to see what went wrong for them, they got a 30 on elimination win, a couple of games dying in mid game, then a 30 elimination 6th, 36 elimination win, and a 16 elimination 2nd. So it really is kind of just the same things that they're struggling with last Cash Cup, where they can get like the high elim wins, but they have just not shown that they're able to consistently make endgame and place well in it. Obviously though, a 44th is a lot better of a placement than they got last week, which was like 3,000 something. So they are steadily showing some improvement. This team still really does have a long way to go before they can become a top team on EU. Let's move on to the finals now though. Now the EU finals actually came down to the wire, but we did get to see the back-to-back wins now for Vico, Veno, and Flixie, finishing with 304 points while being able to win 2 of them. This team was also contested by literal cheaters for like half of their games too, so this was a very impressive Cash Cup performance from them. This might be their most impressive finals performance so far this season. They had an average placement of 12.2 and an average elims of 8.3. Looking at their match history, it was a 0 elimination 29th, and then after that they were able to just fully lock in, getting an 11 elimination 4th, 6 elimination 8th, 16 elimination win, 3 elimination 31st, and then a 14 elimination win in their very last game to secure the overall tournament win and go back-to-back for Trio Cash Cup finals wins now. Second place was the brand new trio of Yanis, Noah Riley, and Rezon on 264. There was already some controversy coming out of this team because obviously you guys all know Yanis and Rezon have been playing with Vidil, and they were not even able to qualify for like the first 2 Trio Cash Cup finals. So going from that to placing literal second place while being contested and having a very good chance to win is going to raise some debates on whether or not Rezon and Yanis should drop the deal for Noah Riley now. This team got a 10 elimination second, a 10 elimination win, 4 elimination 7th, 0 elimination 32nd, 10 elimination 4th, and a 0 elimination 33rd. So legit, the only bad games they had were when they died off spawn because they were contested. Third place was Rax, Pradej, and Radion on 253. Fourth place is the trio of Chap, Chicho, and Teeny on 248. I saw a lot of slander on this trio last week for not being able to qualify, so they did kind of shut a lot of that up, finishing in the top 5 now. Fifth place though is a team that might surprise some of you guys, but is actually cringe moneymaker, and I'm not 100% sure how to say their third's name, so if you guys could let me know in the comment section down below, I would greatly appreciate that. But they finished with 232 points. 6th was Gabix, 7th was Ping, Walks, and Malibuka. So I'm not sure if this is the official trio again after Malibuka and Ping ended up playing with like somebody else last week. I'm a little confused on who their official third is, but they were able to finish 7th place. Good to see them placing well again. 8th place was Vexy, 9th was Wee, and then rounding out the top 10 was Rabid. All right, let's get into the kin stats now for the most damage dealt on EU. And in 10th place on 4,222 damage was Vexy, 9th was Vico, 8th was Chap, 7th was Effinagin, 6th was Radion, and then going into the top 5 now is Teeny. 4th is actually Rezon, which is a little bit of a surprise. And then in the top 3 is Veno, 2nd place is Ping, and then 1st place is Chicho. Remember, if you guys did enjoy the video, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we are trying to hit 85,000 subscribers by the end of November. Use code KDOG, the Fortnite item shop, if you guys want to support me even more. YouTube says to enjoy 1 to 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter at KDOG to keep up to date with everything to do with Fortnite competitive. Thank God for another day. I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Peace out.